When we think of culture within an organization, we think about what does it feel like to work in this place? How does it feel when I go to work? And when we think about how do we objectively assess what our culture is like, we also have to be thinking about, well, what observable behaviors do I notice? Because these are the behaviors that dictate the culture of our environment. So as we develop our culture, as we develop how it feels to go to work, we have to think about what happens when people come together. What are the observable behaviors when people come together? And one of the concepts for us to start to observe is one or versus one and thinking. So if we put this in the context of hiring, if I approach hiring with one or, then I'm going to hire people who are like me. And when I hire people who are like me, I start to confine my team, my group, my organization to like-minded group thinking. When I do that, our ability to innovate stalls because we look at things in the same way. We come to the same answers. So we don't innovate very well beyond what our group think is capable of innovating to. And this is the finite game. We cannot scale in this type of mindset. We cannot grow in this type of mindset. We will always be behind the 8 ball. So the alternative behaviors that we're looking for are one and behaviors. And when we operate culturally in one and, what it looks like in hiring is I hire different from me. And when I hire different from me, I'm thinking diversity, cognitive diversity, cultural diversity, diversity across the board. Because when we are diverse in our point of view, our culture, how we problem solve, how we approach things, what ends up happening is innovation soars. What ends up happening is we're playing the infinite game. We can scale. We can go in any direction. Why? Because we're not confined into a certain way of thinking and doing. Our diversity enables us to continually expand. To adopt a one and mindset as individuals that are part of a community, we have to have a strong sense of self. I have to be grounded in who I am. Self-regard, self-actualization, self-awareness. And the reason I have to be grounded is if I'm not, I will disagree, I will battle, I will compare, I will fight to be right. And I will do all of these things to protect myself. So if we want to create this utopian type environment, we first have to start with the individual. We have to start with ourselves. And then we have to look for and hold accountable to those kinds of one and behaviors in our workplaces.